Hello friends, welcome to bispsolutions.com. My name is Sumit, and in this video I'm going to demonstrate you how to integrate .NET with Salesforce using SOAP API. We have different type of SOAP APIs available in Salesforce. So the API which we are going to use for this example would be Enterprise API. So let's begin and we'll see that how to integrate Salesforce with .NET using SOAP API. And we would be going to generate new leads within Salesforce lead object from .NET. So first of all, we need to extract the Enterprise API, and in order to do that, you must have the Salesforce developers account, which I have already got, and I have logged in into my Salesforce account, and I look for API. Under develop, you will find out API. So click on develop API, and here you will find out Enterprise API. Enterprise WSDL, and it's a strongly typed WSDL for customer who want to build an integration with their Salesforce organization only. And if you want to have an integration with multiple organizations, then we'll use partner WS because it's a loosely typed WSDL. But we are going to work on Enterprise WSDL right now. So I click on generate Enterprise WSDL, click on generate button. It will generate a WSDL file for us, and it would be in XML format. So we need to save that file as an extension as WSDL on our desktop, and that file we are going to include within .NET. So I save as, I would be using as Enterprise WSDL. So I simple type here enterprise.wsdl. Because this file already exists, I have already created that, I have already exported that, so I'll just replace the old one, and the Enterprise WSDL has been exported on my desktop right now. So you can see that's the Enterprise WSDL file. We'll look at its extension, and it is WSDL Web Service Description Language. So we have successfully got the WSDL file. Along with this WSDL file, we'll be requiring three things: the Salesforce account username, password, and the security token. How to get the security token for your account? For that, you can visit my previous video. Now let's switch to .NET. So I'm using here Visual Studio .NET Visual Studio Professional 2012. So it's a licensed version, and I click on File, New Project, and I would be using Windows C Sharp, Windows Form Application, and Windows Form Application 2. So I'll just rename it as SOAP API Test App, and click on OK. So it generates a form application, and those who are already worked in .NET, they might be knowing that this is the form where we can design and GUI application. So the very first thing we need to do is we need to add the reference of that WSDL file, and in order to do that, right click on your app. I click on add service reference. It is requiring for an address, so I click on advanced, add web reference, and the URL. And in URL, I'll select from my desktop, C drive, users, desktop, enterprise, WSDL. And as you can see, as soon as I select the path, I got a message, one service found, enterprise, and SF4 service description. And we have the methods. What can we perform? We can convert leads, we can create new leads, delete, describe all tabs, and so these are the permissions, these are the these are the functions we can invoke: log out, log in, and so on. So I'll just rename the web reference name as SFDC and click on add reference. So you see a web service reference will be added, and now we are ready to integrate our .NET with Salesforce application. So let's begin writing the code. So I double click on form, or before that, let's design the form first of all. So I'll switch to form design, and I'll look for toolbar, So I'll go to view and toolbox, and I drag and drop because we are working on leads. So in leads, we have got 3 mandatory fields. When I click on new, there are 3 fields which are required mandatory: last name, company, and lead status. So I will be using the same. So I drag and drop 3 labels for last name, for company, and for lead resources, lead status, and 3 text boxes to get input from user: 1, 2, and 3. You can rename them if it is required. I just rename it as last name. I just change that label, company, and this is lead status. And that's text box 1, text box 2, text box 3, and I need a button so that when we click on that button, the record gets captured. Create new lead. That's the label. So let's begin. And the very first thing I'm going to do is we need to add the reference. So I write using, and the project name is SOAP API test. So I write SOAP API test app dot sfdc and using system.net. So these 2 libraries are required. Then I quickly create couple of fields like string uname is equal to, here we need to provide the username. So my username is Sumit20112017@bisp.com. Public. So I just increase the font for your ease to understand. Password is equal to, make sure that your password does not contain any special characters, otherwise you won't be able to access it. String security token is equal to, we'll be requiring security token, and let me quickly reset my security token, my settings, personal, reset security token, and let me get my security token from my account, from my mail account. So I'll just copy security token from there, and that's the security token I received in my mail account. I create couple of more variables: string session ID, private login result as underscore login result, private date time underscore next login time, and private S4 service underscore S4 ref is equal to new S4 service. So it's an instance for S4 service. Then I'm creating a function here, and that's a private function. Private bool is connected, just to validate whether the connection established successfully or not, and to store the result, to store the final result, I create a new variable called bool variable that is called bin result, and I just check that if not string dot is null or empty session ID. Be very careful about the case sensitivity, and session ID not equal to null. And I would be checking that if date time dot now is greater than underscore next login time. So I'll set bin result as false, else bin result as true. True. And also I write else bin result is equal to false. And we would be returning, because it's not void, it is requiring a return statement. So return bin result, whatever is the result, whether it is true or false. Then I need to create one more function, and that's also a private function, and this function will be not returning any value. This function is just to validate, just to find out the session info. Session info. So this function would be checking the session info. Login result is equal to new login result. System dot net dot service point manager dot security protocol. Here we need to set the security protocol, and that's why, because if we are accessing this application through web as well, so there we would be we would be validating it for giving permissions for all TLS12, TLS11 and TLS protocols. So TLS12 or security protocol type dot TLS11 or security protocol type dot TLS. Then I'll just write login result is equal to underscores sf dot login, and in the here we'll be passing uname comma pwd plus security token. As you know that password and security token goes together, and in session id we would be capturing the login result dot session id. Finally, when user click on the button, when user enter the details and enter the details like last name of a new leads, company and the lead status, and when user click on create new lead button, this would capture a new lead into lead object. So I just validate that if not is connected. If it is not false, then we would be getting the get session info. So I would be getting the function. So I invoke this function, and here I write underscore s4ref dot url is equal to underscore login result dot server url s4ref dot session header value is equal to new session header s4ref dot session header value dot session id. This is the same session id which we got from session login result dot session id. Now we don't need to specify the lead object or the reference to the lead object, because it is already available with the reference we have added, the enterprise WSDL reference we have added. So as you can see, if I type lead or if I type account, I can directly access the leads or all the Salesforce object within my .NET now. So I write lead L1 is equal to new lead. So I create a new instance for my lead object. And we set the values L1 dot last name. Also we can access all the variables, all the fields we used to have in that object. So L1 dot company, sorry, it should be company is equal to text box 2 dot text, because text box 1 is capturing by within is capturing last name, text box 2 is capturing company, and text box 3 will be capturing my lead status. So I'll just write and L1 dot lead source. So it's a lead source, or you can call it as a lead status. Let me check the lead status, or what's the instance for that variable name. So it's a lead status, and for lead status it should be status L1 dot status is equal to text box 3 dot text. Now here I am using it as a text box because it's a drop down menu. You can also create a drop down or a combo box over here. So I'm using same, means I'm using as a text box, and I write save result create result is equal to underscore sforce ref dot create new s object and we will be passing L1, and I just validate that if create result 0 dot success, then it will display a message. So I use message box dot show lead inserted. It's a confirmation message. And now let's save and test it. And in order to test it, I simply click on start button. And as soon as you click on start, you execute the code, you might be getting this error message. And this error message says invalid operation exception was unhandled, first of all, and the error code is CS0030. So how to sort out this issue? To solve this issue, we need to, first of all, I open my Notepad++, because to solve this issue, I would be taking help of this Notepad++. And here I'm opening a file, so I click on open desktop, BISP, my documents, then go to Visual Studio 12, project, SOAP test API, web reference, SFDC, scroll down to reference.cs and open this CS file. And in this CS file, we have to search for two brackets, double brackets. We have to search for double brackets, open, close, and we search it. And wherever you found this double bracket, we have to replace that double bracket with a single bracket. So I'm going to replace the double bracket with single bracket, save the file, and we'll look for one more time. So there you might be getting two places where you need to replace double brackets with single bracket. Now we don't have any more text fields, so I'll just save it. We can close this, and now we can run it again. So I'll just save it again and start it or execute it. So might be getting some warning messages, so you can ignore those warning messages. And now we can try testing by inserting a new lead. So I write test lead from .NET BISP lead status open contacted and click on create new. So this process may take some time to insert the record because it will create a connectivity with the Salesforce. And finally, I got successful message, lead inserted successfully. So I can close my application, and now let's go and check whether leads inserted or not. So I click on leads, all open leads, and we can see a new lead has been inserted as test lead from .NET. And the leads, that's the name, company name is BISP, and lead status is open contacted. So that's how we can integrate .NET with Salesforce using SOAP API to perform DML operations. That's all in this video. You can find the code in the link below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Goodbye.